So, Uncle, you wanted to talk about Dad's visit to Singapore and Malaysia in '83, and I hear a lot of good things about the ministries that happened there and the influence that Dad had on many assemblies, especially the Tamil speaking assemblies there. So, could you share your experiences in traveling with him and arranging the meetings for him in the different parts of
Yeah,
Malaysia and Singapore?
no, thank you. Uh, the Lord has somehow or other worked in my heart that not only just my heart, but in the hearts of a number of young believers to set up a Tamil meeting. And they did not know who they could have as a kind of to help them through. So we had some brethren who were well in Tamil. For instance, we had a brother Chinappan,
Mm-hmm.
or he's a Tamil scholar. He's a poet. He writes to the newspaper and things like that, and he speaks fluent Tamil and educational Tamil.
In Malaysia?
In Malaysia, Brother Chinappan, he didn't come to Erode, but he wanted to come, but he couldn't make it. He was one of those whom I associated myself with very earnestly, frequently, and he has been a very tremendous help in my personal life too, in a sense that he brought me through to see how the Tamil work can be started and going on. Mm. So that's how Chinappan is. Then, by which time I've already associated myself with Brother Charles, because I'm trying to bring him to come and serve the Lord. So I'm praying with him, I'm visiting him, I'm taking him along with all the trips that I take myself, even never. But he's a school teacher, so he's a Tamil again,
Right.
Tamil school teacher. Not really teaching Tamil, but just teaching geography, but and to the secondary level, that means a higher school. Um, but he can nevertheless speak Tamil fluently. So we had now two person, and then there is another brother whose name is Victor Dos. He's from India, but then he associated with the missionary. So he has a kind of style like I live like a missionary, the Western style, things like that, which the local people will take reservation. Not that they will hate him or they not will easily buy him,
Right.
like Chinappan or
That's right.
Charles, not easily take Victor Dos. But anyway, he was a very faithful steward of the gospel. That makes him a very different person altogether. So I had him. And then there were the young fellows who were in the Cameron Islands, very younger, and whom I have been ministering to for 9 years. So I felt the best person to come to us and help us through was your father. So I prayed for a long time. I know that those days the passage is quite expensive. To get $700 to fly you from Chennai to Singapore.
Wow.
And then you may need some money to come from Erode to this thing, and you must leave some money at home for the family.
For the family.
And then along the way you may have to when you are going to a country, people will come along with you.
Right.
That's a culture of Tamil Nadu or the workers in India. They will, at least 5 fellows will follow you.
Right.
I don't know why they won't, but it's like as though they're going to help you through, and you cannot say no, don't come and all that, because they are there to some or other be with you. So with all the expenses, we thought we were unable, but somehow or other, as I prayed to the Lord and with my wife, and with all these brethren that I mentioned just before, Lord sent from someone to me with that amount of money. And it's exciting. It's not 1 cent more, 1 cent less.
Really?
Only that amount of money for the flight. Okay. We were excited. In fact, my wife and I, we jumped with joy and said, look, nobody can calculate that thing to such a point that it can just give you that amount. Because that's what you have been asking.
Wow.
And we said we should have left it to the Lord to give rather than to go and dictate to Him what to give. So anyway, I learned the lesson on that day. I learned the lesson. So then when I wrote to your dad was delighted to come. He was delighted. But he was behind his heart. I know he was writing to me, but you're saying that he feels that there are better people around in Tamil Nadu than himself. And then if he goes out, what will the others say? Because all the others goes to the Gulf country and collect back, and then they build castles. So he was, all that, somehow or other, he prayed, and then the Lord helped him to overcome. I said, don't worry about all these things. If people want to talk anything about you, they will keep on talking.
Right.
And if you watch their lives, those who talk about you in a negative ways and so on, they will not be pleasing to the Lord. They have nothing to do with the Lord. That's why they keep talking about things against God. Then he agreed with that. When he came, it was a tremendous help. Not that who is a better worker. It's not that. But how effectively you can use your God-given gift. And so I believe it is more the gift to be utilized in various areas that brings real fruit of repentance as well as fruit of salvation to the people when things are. So Father came right from Singapore into Johor, and to Johor, Malacca, and from Malacca to Kuala Lumpur, and from Kuala Lumpur to Cameron Highlands, and from Cameron Islands to Penang. From Cameron Islands to Ipoh to Penang. Wow. Lord and lots of blessing. Lots and lots of blessing. Many, many precious souls. I may not have counted them. Nobody had counted because we don't want to count in those days. We don't want to keep a record because we don't give any record. But we know now how many families and how many individuals came to the Lord through your father's ministry. He not only taught us the scriptures, he taught us to sing them a song. And that's another side of the story. Of course, that's brother's first visit to Singapore. The second visit was also again, this time the assembly paid for him. And it is a kind of a conference.
That's right.
For the brother workers to come and share what we are doing. And then it so happened that I was the last speaker to close the conference. And we really, the Lord helped us to put all that together as our vision for all over Asia. And I can tell you that was about a blessed time till today. God has already answered all that prayer. Throughout Asia, the ministry now flourishes.
Okay.
We have Korea, we started with Korea, we Japan, where all these things went on.
Yeah, that's very good, Uncle. Thank you very much. And I think with that, we can transition into the ministries that the Lord helped you do in some of the Southeast Asian countries like the Philippines and Indonesia. And then we'll focus on how the Lord helped you accomplish those.
Malaysia, the Lord